My name is Cheryl Carleton, and I teach here in the economics department, and I'm also the director for the Villanova Women's Professional Network. Being an economist, my area of expertise is in labor economics, and in particular looking at women in the labor force. So I got interested in doing some research on the roles that women play, looking at the wage gap, also looking at job satisfaction differences, and then looking at the impact that just-in-time employment has had. So there's been a rise in that, like Uber, and what impact that has on women. And then, so that's looking a little bit more generally at women's roles in the economy. And then, particularly, I teach a course called Women in the Economy, and then looking in my role as the director of the Women's Professional Network, looking at women at different places. And so one of the things is looking at women in leadership. So why are there so few women in leadership roles? What's the importance of that? Like, why do we care about it? Why is it important? And what can individuals, firms, and governments do if we think that's important and we want to encourage?
The workplace is very gendered. So you think about how it grew up and how we have the policies we have, and it really developed from a model where you had men who went out to work and they had women at home to take care of families and all the things that they need. So the way the workplace is set up, it's very gendered, but for a time that was there. That it disadvantages women. So they're not given the opportunities sometimes to take the risks, to do the things that they need to be able to get to leadership positions in companies. So I think that's a really big one. Also, we talk about social norms, what people's expectations are. So if I'm the boss and I'm assigning people to do things or giving people opportunities, I sometimes make assumptions that I'm not going to offer that to the women because I really don't think they want to do it anyway. You know, they have kids, they have this. So I don't even give them the opportunities to be able to move up, right? Because you don't have the experiences, so now we come to time. So I think this whole idea of social norms and this idea of not giving people opportunities, we call it statistical discrimination, but that's an economics term that we use.
One thing is just obviously from an equity standpoint, women have just as many college degrees, if not more, than men. They have lots of years of experience. You have half the labor force, if not more, that you're missing out on if you are not using them to their fullest potential. And I also think that for firms, it's shown that it makes a better bottom line for firms. They have more profits, they do better. More and more women are the primary shoppers. They control more of the spending. So you have to think about, how am I going to reach my consumers? You know what? I want to reach them. I want to do well. It also provides an incentive in firms for people to stay and invest. So think about it. You work at a firm. If you never see an opportunity for you to rise, you're going to leave. So having role models who are saying, hey, you know what? This is something that I can aspire to. I'm going to stay and I'm going to invest in this company and I'm going to stay here and work here.
A lot of organizations really want more diversity because they realize it's better for their bottom line. They realize that women are making more of the spending decisions. They realize that they're spending more money. And I think they would really like to have more women. So they think about, okay, how can we get more women? So let's have some flexibility policies. But you know, they don't really organize them the right way that women can really take advantage of them, because it can't just be a women's issue. It has to be a family issue to get them to take care of it. So I think that they're really concerned with this. I think they do a lot at the recruiting end, at the front end, to really say, okay, what would make it attractive for more women to come here? But I don't think they think enough about, okay, now I have the women, they're here. What do I need to do to make sure that they have a seat all the way up, that they can rise all the way up? So I think they need to think more about what kind of policies really work. How can we make this a family issue? And it has to come from the top down. It can't just be people at the bottom saying things. It has to be modeled from the top down that this is important. I think of, no matter what you think of it, Mark Zuckerberg, when he took time off when his child was born, he's modeling that this is a family issue. It's important for everybody. It's really important, or really difficult, to counter people's perceptions. So people have a certain perception of what you should be doing. And if you don't fit into that mold, then it disadvantages you. Like we talked about, we think that women should be caring. So you should take on at work all the caring things. There's a party, the women will plan it. There's this, the women will do it. If somebody's sick, something like, the women will take care of it. And if you don't, then it disadvantages you. But we need to think about, you know, women don't necessarily have to just do those things. Men have to do them too. It doesn't mean that they shouldn't, but we have to think about what are the perceptions of what women should do and shouldn't do. Let's make sure that we give them opportunities. Let's make sure we ask them what they want to do rather than assuming what they want to do. Like, I'm not going to ask you, you know what, she's really busy, so I'm not going to ask her to go. Why don't I ask you? Would you like this position? Would you like to take this opportunity? And then you can decide, rather than having people not even give you a place. To learn as much as you can, to find a good mentor or someone to network with that can give you the real lay of the land and let you know what's going on, to take risks, to be confident, right? I think that's really important. You have to say, okay, go for it, try it. If it doesn't work, you learn something from it and you can move up. Men do this all the time, but I think it's really important to, they're smart, they're bright, they know a lot. Just go for it. I think that's really important.